Alright, so many of you guys have asked me, I know I've answered this before, I've gone over it in the past, non-CDL car hauling. And why? Personally, I think it's stupid. I do it, I plan on getting my CDL soon. Why do I think it's stupid? Because unlike freight, cars are a minimum of 3,000 pounds a piece. Freight, you can play Tetris with it. You can put a 1,000-pound partial on there for $3 a mile. Woohoo, you're all good. Car hauling, I have 3 cars on my deck. We looked up the weight of those 3 cars. That weight came out to 10,900 pounds for all 3 cars. I weigh 25,440 pounds, give or take. I think that's what it was, right? Yeah. 25,440 pounds. That gives me 560 pounds of fuel that I am allowed to put on top of that. I was at in between 1/4 and 1/2 of a tank. What that tells me is, if you do the math, I can put about an extra 80 gallons of diesel in at that set amount on my fuel gauge. Well, the problem is, now I'm filling up here and I'm a little bit above that. So what do? I put 70 gallons in. Why does that suck? Because here at TA, where the fuel is a lot cheaper than anywhere else, I can't utilize my entire fuel tank. So that means I can only get an extra 70 gallons, meaning 2 full tanks plus, let's say, a little over a 1/4 tank on the, a little under a 1/2 a tank on the main tank. So I've probably got about 90 gallons or so. You know, that's still a lot, but I still have 50 more gallons of capacity. So that really sucks. And I've been telling people, unless you are super light, non-CDL car hauling is gonna suck. It's so hard to make money. Comparing non-CDL car hauling to non-CDL freight, the freight is gonna take it night and day. Even with CDL, I think freight's gonna take it the majority of the time, but you're not limited to weight, so cars sometimes will pay better, but not very often. So, in my case, we got a decent rate going down. We're just gonna try to fight for a decent rate going back up. So I told you guys, a lot of the freight guys are generally, you know, they like to see that high dollar amount per month, at least 16,000 gross per month. And the majority of guys will work 3 weeks, okay? I'm working every single week, Tuesday to Saturday. So I have a goal set for myself. I am trying to make 4,000 gross every week, 16,000 gross for the month, plus the YouTube check. So we'll see if that is possible, but I don't know. I used to be making that. I was making that for the longest time, but unfortunately now with the being home every week thing, it's definitely taking a toll into that. I'm used to that 4 to 5 grand gross a week, but now that I'm home every week, it's definitely a fight. So we're gonna keep pushing. We're gonna try to do our best, and we're starting off early this morning. We got plenty of drive time. Let's see if we can't get into Florida today, and then we will be dropping 3 tomorrow. And gonna try, we found a load for 1,400 coming back up, but unfortunately it was a 10-foot high box truck, and unfortunately we can't do that because that would put me over length, or over height, and possibly overweight. It was 100 pounds more than what is on my trailer now, so that would have put me at like 25,600 or 25,550, something like that. So yeah, let's get out of here. We're at the TA. Not a fan of this TA because you can't pull up afterwards, but we are fighting a airbag issue, which I will get resolved at some point. We are also fighting a, what else are we fighting? We have a marker light out in the back, and still having issues with these brakes. It still goes into overload mode even with the new controller, so I'm just gonna go ahead and replace the front brakes when I get back, or at least just the magnets, and hopefully that fixes everything. But we'll see. So let's get back on the road. Enough of my rant. Let's get going. All right, so we're getting inspection, I think. I don't know. He asked for my registration and my license, so I don't know what we're doing here, but reciprocity, I think he said. I don't know what that means, but I guess I'm just gonna sit tight and wait. We'll see. They're getting everybody in North Carolina, I guess, so. There's a welding truck right there. All right, so I don't know if we're doing good or bad. This guy's kind of a little bit more picky than the last ones. I've showed him all 3 of my inspections. I've basically been getting inspected once a month. I've passed 2 level 1s so far in 8 and 9, And then in October, I passed a level 3, so now we're in November. So I showed him that. We'll see. Hopefully everything's good and we can leave here soon. But yeah, we'll go from there. I'm gonna have to do, knowing what I know now, because what I've been doing has been passing and been doing fine, but they're getting a little bit more and more picky with paperwork stuff. So I'm gonna have to really make sure all the ducks are in a row when I get back. So print everything out and just get everything in a single folder. So that's gonna be on my next step of things to do. Look at that, we got another one. All hot shots. You guys wanna do hot shotting right now while the fuel prices are high? You're also at Target? You guys ain't gonna believe this. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you now, definitely, probably could have gotten in, you know, a little bit of trouble there, but he, after talking for a little while and figuring everything out, he was an older guy, so he was definitely a little bit harder. He probably could have got me for something, but I definitely respect the fact that, you know, after our conversation and everything, I was like, all right, you know, this is what needs taken care of. I will absolutely get it fixed. So the fact that the trailer is registered in someone else's name and their business, since it is a lease to own, I do have the paperwork on that, but it's like, it's still kind of like iffy. So I just need to get, I have a folder for like all the stuff, but it's mixed in with everything else. So I am going to, the next chance I get, we're gonna go to Walmart and get a folder for everything, get everything printed out, truck registration, trailer registration I already have and everything. So like proof of insurance. I didn't know that that was something that I actually needed on file because I've gone through multiple inspections. I've passed 4 inspections this year, 3 level 1s, a level 3, and yeah, just didn't know. So we'll get that taken care of. We will be back. We're back on the road. He, like I said, he was super cool. So it took like 26, 28 minutes. He had to run everything, make sure everything was good. You guys are absolutely right about the VIN plate needing to be permanently attached. I did believe you guys, but they've never given me an issue about it. So I need to go do that. So get the VIN plate permanently attached, which again, I paid Fleet Pride to do, and they didn't do it. So I literally said, hey, this needs to be permanently attached, and they just didn't do it. So he also said I was overweight, but I showed him the scale ticket, and he's like, yeah, it's right. And I was like, well, what do you mean I'm overweight? And apparently when they ran the numbers and everything, something came up wrong. I am I'm just under 26 now because I filled up for fuel. So yeah, I'm under 26, but when I weighed myself before I put the 70 gallons in, I was 25,440, I think it was. So yeah, other than that, we're getting rolling. Got about 8 hours left on the log, so we will definitely drop tomorrow. So let's get this rest of this trip going, and hopefully no more issues the whole way down. Well, looks like we're gonna have one of those high view videos because I'm so glad I carry spare parts. But oof, this one's an oofy. I need to go take this drive shaft in to get repaired. I now officially need a carrier bearing and a U-joint. I'm driving, you know, I'm cruising, whatever, and I hear I'm like, oh shit, that's definitely a drive shaft. And I'm like, but it didn't do what it did the first time I launched a drive shaft years ago, like where it went like all over the place. So I was like, maybe I get lucky and I get down there and the center U-joint, the one that I put in, is bad. Also, the carrier bearing's bad, so I think the carrier bearing went and took that out. So I'm kind of like in a really bad spot. Like, I'm off the side of the road. So I'm gonna get my triangles out. I have the tools to replace it. I'm gonna replace the U-joint, or I'm gonna try to fix the U-joint first. And then I'm gonna go try to find an auto parts store, and yeah, so it looks like we'll be able to drop tomorrow. So I have plenty of time left on the logbook. I have several hours of on-duty time to play with. So let's get this done. Remember I said we needed some breakdowns, and that's what we got. So I'm not complaining at all. It sucks, yes, but it is what it is. I'm not a negative person. So let's get on here, figure out auto parts near me, yada yada. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna replace the U-joint, and then I'm gonna limp this thing to, it looks like on the next exit there is an O'Reilly's. So we are gonna limp it, oh, I like O'Reilly's. So we'll limp it to O'Reilly's, which is about 2.5 miles away. Perfect. let's get some U-joint swapping and let's go get a carrier bearing. I'm gonna call them at like 8 in the morning, so woohoo, this is fun. Let's go get some triangles out and go from there. Not what I wanted to do today, but you know what? An inspection and a breakdown in one day? Let's do this. Wow, the truck has not given me issues in forever, so this is weird, but you know, I knew I've needed a carrier for a while. This is definitely my part, self-inflicted, but you know what? Oh well. So I'm gonna show you guys what I got going on under here, okay? So, I got the drive shaft down, all 5 bolts, you know, whatever. And you guys can see, hopefully, you guys see that? Nothing, no cap, no nothing. So, the carrier bearing on this drive shaft, it had a little bit of play when I bought it, but you know, nothing crazy, so I figured send it. I knew it probably needed a new one eventually. So I'm gonna assume that over time of the carrier bearing vibrating, you know, it just took out this guy right here. So honestly, might not actually need to do anything. Might just have to take the cap from the new one I have, pound it in, put a clip in, and we're good to go, because this is a brand new U-joint. So I'll do that, then I'm gonna get this up the road to O'Reilly's, wait till they open around 8 or 9. I'm gonna purchase a new carrier bearing and 3 new U-joints just to have a bunch of spares, just in case. But you guys see, this is why I don't like 4-wheel drive either, because I used to have to do these like damn hotcakes at McDonald's up on the front axle. Like, they were always going bad and I just hated it. So I'm over it, I'm done with it. And yeah, so we're gonna get the carrier. I'll probably find a shop to see if I can't have them press it on for me. And then, yeah, so. Also, I know I'm gonna get a bunch of hate in the comments for not going and getting the drive shaft fixed like I said I was going to. And the reason was I ran out of time. And I know that's not really an excuse, but I ran out of time. I needed to get the trailer fixed. And realistically, the guy was gonna take like 4 days just to balance my drive shaft. I didn't have time to wait. So this is a minor inconvenience, but again, this is one of the reasons, if you're gonna run an older truck, be a mechanic. Do not pay somebody to work on your stuff if you're gonna run an older truck. I'm at the point where this truck does not break down anymore. This is a used drive shaft. So yes, I would like to go over it, but another reason I don't want to yet is because I plan on finding a 2-wheel drive transmission, meaning I'm gonna have to get a new drive shaft anyway. So why dump the money into this drive shaft, 400 bucks or whatever, when I'm just gonna go buy another one anyway. But realistically at this point, I probably should just dump the money into it and be done with it. But let's, yeah, always carry a spare. And yeah, I'm gonna grab that now and I'll toss that on. All right, so what I'm gonna do, like I said, I have a new cap here. That's what I'm gonna put on with a new clip. And then I'm gonna save the new U-joint and I'm just gonna grab one of the old caps from one of the old U-joints. And I know it's probably not the preferred method, but I really don't care what people have to say about it. So I'll reuse an old cap from one of the old ones, new grease and all that, and just put it with this new one here. So sorry, we are kind of on the side of the highway, so it is a lot of noise. But that's what we're gonna do. That way I don't have to waste this U-joint. And also, if we need to, I can use this U-joint as parts, but I am definitely gonna buy 3 more and a carrier today if they have it. Also, I'm getting rid of these airbags because look at this. I just filled this up to 100 pounds and it's already starting to squat again. So, like, this thing was perfectly level when we left. The right bag has been giving me issues. I just got a set of bump stops. They're for towing, and like they basically replace your factory bump stops. So I'm gonna get those installed when I get home and just completely eliminate the air system, because quite frankly, I'm tired of dealing with it. Yes, the truck looks badass this low, but it's not practical. It's jamming the drive shaft into the transfer case, which is bad. So, and if the front was a little lower, great. But yeah, I had 100 pounds in that and it just all leaked out. So you guys can see just how close the exhaust is to the ground. So yeah, let's get this done and get the hell up to O'Reilly's. All right, so the other side had to come out as well because the bearings were kind of everywhere. So let's get that all cleaned up. I'll go grab another one of those and we can throw it on because this is still good. So let's get the other one thrown on and go from there. All right, so here we go. You guys can see that's what the other side looked like. So we'll get rid of that. very good spot to do this, but whatever. Let's get these things on. All right, just like that, we have good U-joint. So get this thing thrown back in, a little crusty on the end, whatever, and we'll go from there. All right, we're all done, we're all cleaned up. Like I said, we'll head up to O'Reilly's. Hopefully they have it, because I haven't even called them yet, but like they're 2.5 miles up the road, and usually they have the stuff I need, but I definitely like O'Reilly's over anybody else. I don't know why, I just do. But change of pace, because we don't have one of them in my area where I live, so whatever. Cars are doing minty. All right, so I took the coolant radiator cap off, and nothing. So you guys can see this guy here is leaking, and that's probably because this O-ring here, this gasket, is just made for oil. So what I did, oh, I bet you any money says I just dropped it on the ground, didn't I? Yes, I did. I went and bought a crap load of these guys here. You guys see we got oil leaks, so I can't wait to replace this motor. So cannot wait to replace this motor. Like I said, we got an ECU mount coming. I need to get one of these guys here so that I can have a what do you call that, the oh, I can't think of it, so I can have the high idle. I need to get one of them, and yeah, so when I get the new motor, we'll re-gasket it, do pretty much everything I need to it, clean up this wiring. I plan on getting rid of a lot of wiring, but yeah, the OCD bug is definitely kicking me, and I am ready to start getting rid of shit that is unnecessary. So like a lot of this wire loom will just be gone. Not a fan of aftermarket wiring, so a lot of stuff, like I said, will just be going. And that's another reason why I really want these gauges gone, is for the simplicity factor. The only aftermarket wiring I really want is this. I'll have a new switch panel for the AC, and then my inverter back there. So let's get this thing, let's get some coolant in this thing. All right, so you guys can see kind of what was going on here. This is the old gasket, which is probably only good for oil, and now we're using a O-ring. So we're getting her full. It only didn't even take a full gallon yet, so hopefully it stays that way. I'm gonna try to diagnose this bag issue and see where the leak is coming from, because the other side is all but down to here, so that's terrible. So let's fix that. All right, so I've been sitting a little while. I think I'm gonna call my break a quits and get back on the road. The usual, here's the load, yada yada, you know, no trailer issues this time, so we're just switching back and forth, you know. We're getting truck issues, trailer issues, you know, the whole 9 yards. Nice little swamp next to us, but it's the passenger side bag that's leaking. I decided to pull these out because I think what ended up happening was the spare tire was like bending this, so I'll have to see what I can do. And I'm really hoping, like, I might just cut this super short and like put this on the airbag itself just to avoid any leaks. So when we get home, I have a Timbren, I called it Thurin earlier, I think. I have a Timbren bump stop suspension that will be going back here, and basically it's like a set it at a certain point and just leave it. And yeah, so I can't wait to try them out, courtesy of Alex. And yeah, so let's look forward to that. But yeah, I'm gonna try to find this leak. In the meantime, putting this spare tire up under here was kind of a bad idea, just because of the air leak that it introduced, but we'll see. I don't have any soapy water or whatnot, but I'm gonna try and figure something out. All right, so Windex works great for finding air leaks. You guys can see there's my leak, okay? And just in case it didn't, I went and bought a thing of soap and water, so I'll keep these aside for when I do finally run out of this stuff. But I don't think it's gonna be necessary. So we found our leak, so that's good. That makes sense. So the valve is leaking, great. So now I just need to find a way to replace that. So I always carry spare valve stems, but like I just verified this one only really needed to be tightened. So I went and bought this tool, which I had one, I don't know what happened to it, but it's literally a fucking $7 tool. So make sure you keep one in your truck. So I'm gonna get the bags filled back up. I'm gonna throw that under the back seat with all the air stuff. But yeah, so this will be the last trip with the airbags. Airlift has been great. If you guys ever need an actual air suspension system, I do recommend Airlift. They're a lifetime warranty on the bags, but unfortunately, I'm just tired of dealing with them. I like simplicity, and even though they can be pretty simple, they are definitely more of a maintenance item than if I were to go get the Timbrums. So, all right, hopefully that works out. We didn't seem to have any leaks in here, so luckily just the valve stem. I was at the point where I was like, man, I'm about ready to just cut this thing and put it on the end, but if it's the valve stem, yeah, you're not gonna have any success. But I was running these out to the bottom here, and the problem is with the spare tire where it's at now, it like hard 90s up and just rubs. So I put them through the old light holes back here, and yeah, like I said, this is all temporary. I'm pulling all of this out and we'll go from there. All right, super nice that the truck is now sitting level, so we'll get out of here. I'll tell you what, guys, I cannot wait to get a new damn motor. Just went in and brushed my teeth. We're getting the pre-trip started. Now we're gonna get out of here. So we got a little bit, we'll be dropping in the morning. Let's get moving.